I was raised and brought up in a Muslim school in Chicago. It was called Muhammad's University of Islam. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was one of the greatest men of our history who had a philosophy to teach and eradicate the brains of the former slave, to take the slave mentality out of the black man, and to give them self-esteem. In doing that, he created a school so we can learn about our black history. To know where you're going is to know where you've come from. So I was one of the pupils who experienced learning about black history in school when it was not heard of in the other public schools. So I knew about the Roman Empire, Helen of Troy, I mean, you know, Cleopatra, you know, Nefertiti. So I was like very well versed in our history. So when this catches, I didn't know anything about sports. Elijah Muhammad's regime was not built around sport and play. And so I didn't know who the guy was who came to the school. And it was him and his brother that came. Our principal, Sister Christine, was the principal at the time, and she brought him in. And I knew we did assembly already. We always have our Arabic classes at first, and then we had the same bell for the assembly when we already done. At that time, I was 10 years old. Cassius Clay was 18 years old. I was an honor student, and I was working on the bulletin board, putting up events on the bulletin board. When this 18-year-old fighter called Cassius Marcellus Clay came to our school, now all I could remember what he said on stage when I came up into the auditorium was one statement that I can only remember. And it was, he was saying, I am going to be the heavyweight champion of the world before I'm 21, so get your autographs now. And I go, how does this guy know he's going to do it at 21? And then I was the last one to get an autograph, and he came up, he said, here little girl, this is my autograph. I'm going to be famous. And I said, and I read the little autograph paper and said, Cassius Marcellus Clay. And I said, Cassius Marcellus, that's a Roman name. Did you know that? He said, well, yeah, I think so. I said, do you know what the Romans did to people? No. I said, and then your last name is Clay, like dirt you mold, and this is your name. And he said, yeah. I said, you proud of this? He said, yes. As I was tearing up the autograph in pieces, I was saying, until you get a name of honor, until you get a name of culture, a name of respect, matter of fact, until you have a Muslim name, then you keep that. I'll come back later when you get that name. And I walked away. Well, he was distraught. And he would go, who is that? She tore up my autograph. I guess that has never happened to him before. And I think I put a target on my forehead from then on, because he always kept looking for me every time he would come into school or the mosque or anything like that. And she said, she's 10 years old? He said, she's so smart. He said, man, I wish I could be smart like that. And he didn't come back. And he said, no, man, you can't mess with her. She's the princess of Islam. She's Elijah Muhammad's pupil. And her father, no way, no way. You do not want to mess with Brother Lieutenant Raymond. No, you don't want to mess with Brother Lieutenant Raymond. That's my father's name at that time. And he said, really? He said, wow. So he left, and And we came back. He would always come, but I never would see him all the time. But, and they said, and then I heard, and I kept listening about him, who he was. And heard he turned out to be a pretty good fighter. And very, very skillful tactics he had, you know, intimidating people. And I said, wow, this guy's really something. He's intimidating people, calling people names, you know. Then he said, Sonny Liston, he was about to fight. This was one of the biggest fights and all. And I remember on the TV, he said, Sonny Liston says, I'm gonna knock out that black Muslim. Oh, that didn't set me right at all. I was really upset. So I said, I'm gonna write a poem about this guy, and I'm gonna tell Cassius Clay to say that to Sonny Liston, because I do not like him. So one day, I was 13 years old, he came back and I said, come here, like that, at the mosque. I said, come here. I said, I want you to take this poem and say this to Sonny Liston. I do not like him. And he said bad things about you. He said, you like me? I said, but I don't like him saying things like that about you. He said, you giving this poem to me? I said, yes, I am. I'm giving the poem to you because I don't like this guy. So he got on TV the next morning, CBS, I believe it was, and he was reading the poem. And that poem was, this is the legend of Cassius Clay, the most beautiful fighter in the world today. This fist fights great, he's got speed and endurance. But if you're trying to sign to fight him, increase your insurance. This kid's got a left, this kid's got a right. Look at a kid care to fight. Oh, the crowd is getting frantic. There's not enough room. The Ali lowers the boom. Who would have thought when they came to the fight, they'd see a spook satellite. No one would dream when they put down their money, they'd see a total eclipse of the sun. There he is. And he made my point famous. He made my point famous. I was so excited. And then he turned around and I saw on TV he had opened up a bear trap and put it in front of Sonny Liston's house. And I said, oh, this is incredible. This guy is incredible. He's got a future, you know. He's really ambitious. And I kind of liked that about him. And I liked the way he was so confident and demanding. And I liked that because I was confident as a little girl in school. You know, I was shy, but when I heard about something, I wanted to believe in something, I just sprouted out just like Cassius Clay.